Hello, we're back from the Mythic Championship Qualifier in Vienna, im Spielraum Vienna, in Spielraum Vienna. With me is one minion of the Lord of the Cards. My name is Christopher Postel, and we're with the top 8 players of the MCQ Vienna.
Yep, we have the top 8 standings. We have them right here. We have in first place, and one of the players we're going to feature in our first round, Aspernig Dominik on Mardu Death Shadow. In second place, Pointner Michael on Jeskai Stoneblade, blue-white control. In third place, Chaos Martin on Junt. On fourth place, Fusse Johannes with Hardened Scale. We saw him in the last round. And on fifth place, Gabriel Jan with Mono Red Burn. Sixth place, Obra Siri also on Junt, 2 Junt decks in the top 8. Seventh place, Kubal Dominik on 4-color Urza. And on 8th place, Sarmiento Rafaelo, we also saw him on coverage. He's playing Jeskai Blade.
Actually, blue-white blade with 4 lightning bolts.
Yeah, so he labeled his deck Jeskai Blade himself. This will be the match of our first quarterfinals, the one we're showing you. Mardu Death Shadow against Jeskai Blade. 2 players on 16 points, Kubal Dominik and Sarmiento Rafaelo, managed to get into the top 8 with 1 player on 16 points. Mircea, who we saw earlier on stream, I think it was around 6, who managed to sneak out a draw after not conceding the first game. Maybe could have won that one. He comes in 9th place also with 16 points. Yeah, I'd say we'll jump right into our feature match area.
Feature match area. On the left side, Dominik Aspernig. On the right side, Rafaelo Sarmiento. What's really nice with these top 8 is that we have a very diverse top 8. We have no Tron, no Eldrazi Tron, no normal Tron.
Yep.
Which is quite a surprise, I think, because Tron was actually before this event. A lot of people said, okay, Eldrazi Tron is the deck to beat.
Yeah, but no Tron here. We have 2 Trons in the top 8. It was the most played deck. But we also have 2 Stoneblade decks. One, as we mentioned, splashing for lightning bolts, so we label it Jeskai. We see on your right side Rafaelo Sarmiento with this Jeskai Blade deck, taking on our lone Mardu Death Shadow player, Aspernig Dominik, coming in first after our Swiss rounds with 19 points. Yeah, will be interesting to see this matchup. I expect a lot of interaction.
Of course, yeah. When we have both deck lists before us, the first thing is Sarmiento's deck list, which is very low on counter with 2 Mana Leaks, 1 Spell Snare, 2 Force of Negation, 2 Cryptic Commands, and 2 Spell Queller, also known as Franz.
Well, I think there's actually a lot of interaction, like counter spells. So,
but it's not like the normal control decks, which go up on Cryptics and up on Forces. No Spell Pierces, no Dovin's Veto, which would be not the worst card against Junt.
On the other side, Mardu Death Shadow with the Hex Parasite, which is one of the newest, I'd say, techs from the Shadow decks.
And of course the
Ranger Captain of Eos, being able to fetch that one.
One of the coolest cards.
I will type top 8 archetypes in chat for you guys. Meanwhile, players are getting ready. We have Mardu Death Shadow. We have
2 Junt.
Junt 2 times. And we have blue-white Stoneblade. And 1 Jeskai. I mean, UV splashing bolt.
Lightning bolt.
Bolt blade. We have
very nice.
1 Mono Red Burn. We have 1 4-color Urza, very interesting, and Hardened Scales.
Yeah, we've seen the Hardened Scales in the last round.
And yes, of course, this Mardu Death Shadow.
So we have a lot of shuffling,
yeah.
as you like it.
If you take a look at top 8 decks, what's your prediction? Who's gonna come out on top?
I think Hardened Scales is like the deck that can explode the easiest. If the Hardened Scales has the the psychotic draw, as I call it, it's over.
Yeah, we've
It's
seen
Pretty in the first 2 turns, it's pretty difficult to interact, and when Darkbound Ravager comes,
yeah
normally the game is over.
we've seen in the last round Martin had a few interaction pieces in both game 1 and 3, and he still lost pretty decisively to Johannes. Handshake for good measures, and people drawing their opening hands. This is the quarterfinals of our Mythic Championship qualifier here in Vienna, hosted by Spielraum. And we're gonna bring you live coverage of this top 8 starting hands.
So we've seen enough lands on the side of Dominik Aspernig. I've seen a Fatal Push, a Thoughtseize.
Very interaction heavy and Hex Parasite in hand.
Sarmiento skips
Yeah.
the 7 and takes a mulligan under the London mulligan rules. As you know, he draws 7 cards again, and then
The Mardu deck is not playing any Stoneforge Mystic. It's has the creature package of 4 Death Shadows, 4 Ranger Captain of Eos, 4 Tidal Scholars, 4 Street Wraith, although they're more like a cycle card and not a creature, and 1 Hex Parasite. For Mishra's Bubble, 3 Call against command. Does feature the Teemo Battle Rage combo, I'd call it.
yeah, it's 2 Teemo Battle Rages, actually.
3 Path, 3 Fatal Push.
And great addition of Unearth from Modern Horizons.
Yeah, actually, Ranger Captain of Eos and Unearth making big waves
Of course.
and pushing this deck to our #1 place after Swiss standings.
So-
Rafaelo Sarmiento putting Better Skull on the bottom.
Not the best choice. So we've seen the swords, he's taking 4 damage with the Godless Shrine going down to 16 life points.
The card you can see in front is actually Path to Exile from the Gideon Spellbook deck.
Okay.
Patrick and I were wondering in an earlier round. We couldn't quite figure out which card it was until he played it. So Dominik already down to 16.
So what's the choice? Actually, I think that Path
Probably the strongest card.
is the best card now.
I mean, the Lightning Bolt can deal with a lot of creatures, but not the Death Shadow.
Mm-hmm.
And the Forces, I mean, at the moment, a 3 mana counter spell. And yeah,
So Path
I
is the
think
way
Path,
to go.
Path is the way to go. Of course, he's taking notes. Don't want to lose against a card you saw earlier in the game.
Now we have
Fetch land.
Sculling turn.
From Rafaelo, passing the turn. Aspernig draws for the turn. I think it's an
There's an-
Inquisition.
Or it's another Thoughtseize.
I think it's an Inquisition of Kozilek, yeah.
Inquisition, and we're ripping your hand apart.
Yeah. Rafaelo is thinking about playing a Lightning Bolt here, although I don't think
that's the best choice because it grows the Death Shadow.
it doesn't accomplish anything at this point. You're not a deck that's racing Dominik or killing him.
So here I
Out
will
of
take
nowhere,
the
yeah.
Force.
I
It
think he
takes
goes
the-
for the Bolt.
Okay.
Yeah, the Force is still turned off. He has no play for turn 2. And even on 3, it's just like counter a non-creature spell. Dominik is now going for the Hex Parasite. Of course, another reason to take the Bolt. So his creature sticks. Thinking about which land to fetch. Of course, the Mardu Death Shadow decks or Death Shadow decks in general. Taking a lot of damage from their lands to grow their signature card.
We've seen that in Legacy at the blue-black Death Shadow list, playing the full Watery Grave play set.
Instead of Underground Sea, yeah. Quite the powerful card. And here's Hex Parasite. I think Dominik left with 2 cards in hand. It's a Fatal Push and a Path to Exile, to my knowledge. Rafaelo fetching end of turn. Probably gonna get either Steam Vents or Sacred Foundry here. Held Fountain also possible, yeah. Goes for the Held Fountain.
Lands is not his problem at the
Yep.
moment. Holding
He needs some
4
actions.
lands.
Although Dominik was able to strip apart Rafaelo's hand, he has no offense whatsoever. And Rafaelo, I think, drew his Spell Queller, one of his 2 Spell Quellers, which is a nice card to draw here. Okay, yeah, it's definitely the Spell Queller.
There is no Geist in the list, so it's the blue-white Mana. It could be small Teferi.
I think it was a spell queller.
Attack.
Attack for 1 and
No
no third
play.
land.
And no play.
Oh, he has 4 cards in hand. And I think Dominik drew Kolaghan's command for the turn.
So now the force is relevant.
Yeah, force is turned on. We'll see if Rafaelo goes for the block with
Takes
the spell
another
queller.
damage.
Yeah, it takes the damage. You want to see Mardu deck versus Hardened Scales with Hex Parasite, with abilities actually very relevant. That would be nice. And there's a Death Shadow.
There's the shadow. And now
It's
it
a 2/2 at the moment.
There's this spell queller.
Does he go for the path? No, I mean, in this case, it makes no difference whether you path it right away or not.
But he knows about
he knows
about the force.
So if he paths now and is a blue card, he gets the force. But if paths in his turn, Rafaelo gets to untap and hardcast the force, which is
So it doesn't make any
interesting
difference.
spot. Yeah, I think he has to go for it now,
Yeah, sure.
because if he has the blue card, at least he trades 2 for 1. Yep.
So spell queller is gone. Rafaelo gets another land, and now we're in the. We know actually that Rafaelo has the force and 2 lands. Now the force, the spell queller. The force and 2 lands. So spell queller is gone. So
the Hex Parasite can grow the Death Shadow very quickly. He probably doesn't want to go to 3 life or below because of the possibility of either Bolt or Snipecaster Mage Bolt. So maybe down to 4 life, something like that. What was the draw?
that looks like
It's
a
Field of
Ruin.
Ruin. So you think his hand is Force of Negation, land?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Yeah. Sarmiento not passing the turn immediately, but thinking about stuff he could do, just bluffing a bit, and during upkeep uses Field of Ruins on Dominik's Godless Shrine.
Going for the black mana.
Someone touched our life point up. Yeah. Dominik, of course, is playing 1 swamp, 1 plains, 1 mountain. So Rafaelo not able to totally screw him over here.
Death Shadow on board can end the game pretty quick.
Yeah, especially with Hex Parasite, you can grow him basically as big as you want, although only in steps of 2 because of the Phyrexian mana. And there are no counters to remove from Hex Parasite, so he just stays a 1/1. But still, the possibility to grow the Death Shadow is good enough here.
Draws for the turn, draws the Godless Shrine, which is pretty nice. Goes down to 9.
And now activates his Kolaghan's command, which he has in hand. Swings. We'll see if he actually... Yeah, he's going into the tank. Yeah, he checks his notes from earlier. How many cards do I know? What can possibly be in Rafaelo's hand? How big do I want to grow my Death Shadow? Do I want to grow it at all? Or am I fine with Rafaelo taking 5 here? Death Shadow, of course, being a 4/4 at the moment. 5 would put Rafaelo down to 12. Takes a look at the graveyard. There is, of course, a Lightning Bolt and a Path to Exile.
So we hear it. If he has the path, it would be Snapcaster path. If he has the Snapcaster, actually. Yeah, Rafaelo is not with the best hand in this game.
Yeah.
Takes damage.
Okay, so no life. Oh, he actually paid. He activated Hex Parasite once. Goes down to 7. That grows the Death Shadow to a 6/6. Which means Rafaelo takes 7 damage. Down to 10. We'll see. I think Dominik is still pondering about his decision here.
Takes another one, as it seems.
Yeah, goes down to 5. Okay, there's no way he's paying more life, right? No reason to go to 3 or below if your opponent is playing Lightning Bolt in his deck. So, Rafaelo down to 8 life. And Dominik with lethal on the board. Big draw step coming up for Rafaelo. It's a lightning
That's
bolt.
a lightning
It's
bolt.
actually a lightning bolt.
2 lands, lightning bolt, and force of negation.
Yeah, that's not gonna be enough. Unless Dominik is foolish enough to put himself at 3. Bolt, snap, bolt.
So the silent clearing is coming untapped. And
Yeah,
attack.
attack for lethal.
Yeah,
And
it's
they're
over.
gonna pack it up.
And
Yeah,
it's over.
Dominik Aspernig leads the game, the match for 1-0. There's Nap Custom Mage right on top. Let's take a look at sideboards. Dominik Aspernig, 2 Plague Engineers, Liliana Last Hope, 2 Fulminator Mages, Pillage, 2 Stone Silence, Pithing Needle, Kaya, Orsa
Kaya.
Usurper,
Kaya's
Kaya's
Guile.
Guile, 1 Kambal, Consul of Allocations, 2 Collective Brutality, and 1 Phyrexian Unlife.
I think it's pretty interesting to put so much cards in your sideboard that gain you actually life, like Kambal and Kaya. Because it's anti-synergetic with your deck, but it has to be really good in certain matchups to put these cards that actually are anti-synergetic with your deck. I think the Liliana is pretty good because you can throw a little away your resources.
Yeah. What else do you bring in? I mean,
The Kaya's Guile is always a possibility with the graveyard removal.
yeah,
And Collective Brutality looks nice. I think Collective Brutality looks really nice. Getting rid of Stone Forges and letting the opponent discard
do you bring in Pithing Needle against
the small Teferi
either Small Teferi or Stonefletch Mystic, so it doesn't get activated?
or the Jace? Maybe. So we have the sideboard from Rafaelo. He has 2 Abrade, 2 Stony Silence, 3 times the best card in Magic history, Geist of Sandtrap, 2 Timely Reinforcement, 2 Rest in Peace, 2 Celestial Purge, and 2 Ceremonious Rejection.
Yeah, the Celestial Purge are coming in. No
Of
matter
course,
what,
of course.
they can handle the Death Shadow.
The thing is, there is Stony Silences are not interesting actually. Timely Reinforcements may be a choice. And the braid is he hasn't seen everything in the deck, so he has not seen the Titleist Scholars, which it would be good against, and he had not seen the Ranger Captain of Eos. Maybe the Ranger Captain of Eos are obvious, but not all Mardu Death Shadow lists are playing Titleist Scholar.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see what people are boarding in. Rafaelo is toying with the Timely Reinforcements, as you pointed out. He's reading it again, okay? No, puts it back into the sideboard. Ceremonious Rejection to handle the threatening Hex Parasite, yeah. It was obviously a huge, took a huge part in Dominik's plan. I think he the card on top is Liliana, and the 2 in the middle are Collective Brutalities. I think he's now holding Kambal in hand. So, what is he boarding in? What is he boarding out?
Bringing out Small Teferi. That's an interesting choice. Boarding out. Would you board out the Small Teferi?
I don't know. It's a pretty good card.
If you play against, it's horrible.
The thing is, you don't want to bounce Ranger Captain of Eos.
No.
Bouncing Tidal Skull is not the best either. I mean, bouncing Death Shadow obviously is good, but I don't know. Hex Parasite is pretty good against Planeswalkers as well. So, yeah, I think I would board it out.
Rafael is playing 2. I've seen 1 taken out, so maybe the second is staying in the deck. I cannot see what Dominik is boarding. I think he had an collective brutality in his hand, but he put it back on the side.
Yeah, I think hopefully we'll see 2 more games between these players. Patrick, of course, is bringing us the sideboards of the players. So you got Rafaelo's deck.
Rafaelo boarded 2 Jaces and 1 Spell Snare out, and the 2 Force of Negation. And he brought in, and 1 Spell Queller. He brought in 3 Geist of Saint Draft and double Celestial Purge.
Okay.
And 1 Timely Reinforcements.
All right, so only 1 timely reinforcement. Meanwhile, Dominik, Plague Engineer still on the board, as is the Liliana. Full mages. Pillage, of course, still on the board. The Pitting Needle did not come in. Neither did the Kaya. He brought in Kaya's Guile, one of Kambal Consul of Allocations, and the 2 Collective Brutalities.
So we were
he
not
took out,
that far away.
Yeah, sorry. He took out the 2 Team of Battle Rages, Hex Parasite, and 1 Street Wraith.
I think the most interesting choice for Rafaelo is to bring in the 3 Geist of Saint Draft. If he's on the draw, and there's always the Geist problem, and people can believe me, I know the problem. If you cannot protect your Geist, it's completely useless. But if you're on the draw and you can handle the first threats on the board and you put your Geist in, then it's pretty fast over.
You mean on the play, right?
Yeah, sure.
Other way around. And Rafaelo is on the play right now. So I can see Mana League, Scalding Tarn. I think at least 1 more land in hand for him. Yeah, it's a Sacred Foundry.
Sacred Foundry, Scalding Tarn,
Stoneforge Mystic,
Steam Vent, Stoneforge Mystic.
So Path Mountain, at least 1 fetch land, Title Scholar.
And the Collective Brutality.
It's an Unearth.
Unearth.
And Celestial Purge in hand for Rafaelo.
Yep.
I think pretty decent hand for both players.
Of course.
I think Rafaelo seems like he kept already.
And Dominik is still thinking, as it seems. So both players keep their starting hands. Rafaelo starts with Scalding Tarn. We have Fetch.
Thoughtseize coming in.
4/3. That's what I really love about the Shadow decks. You can just throw away a life stick. Come here. Here too. Come on.
Yeah, it's part of your game plan. It's just like, yeah, I'm supposed to do that.
So going to 17 for the Godless Shrine.
We go to 15 from the Thoughtseize, and we'll be able to take a better look at Rafaelo's hand. I really like the Title of Scholars and the Mardu Death Shadow decks, because together with Inquisition and Thoughtseize, you really get to take care of the opponent's hand.
Wow. Obvious choice would be Stoneforge Mystic, I think.
Okay, Rafaelo being a good guy and fetching while Dominik is thinking about his decisions and writing down. So what do you take here?
Actually, I would take the Stoneforge. I'll take the Stoneforge so there is no threat, and Path and Mana League is okay. Everything is really cheap in Dominik's deck. And he has more threats, actually.
Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, as you pointed out, both players have a lot of cheap interaction in their hand. And Stoneforge Mystic is the one card that puts you ahead a card.
For your chat, the spellbook card is Path to Exile.
Yeah, Patrick and I had problems figuring that out in an earlier round today. So he takes Celestial Purge. Probably because he doesn't want his Title of Scholar removed that easily, or at least not without getting a land card. Yeah. Dominik cutting the deck. Rafaelo taking a peek there. What was his draw? Was it the second Mana League, or did he just pull it?
So here is it.
Okay, takes 2.
And I think there's a Stoneforge Mystic coming down. I think you do not want to wait with the Mana League, you want to put pressure on.
It's an interesting decision. Point is, yeah, he goes for the Stoneforge now, But Dominik can grab the Better Skull with a discard spell if he has another Thoughtseize, as well as the Title Scholar. Although if he goes Title Scholar here, Rafaelo can just play land, path the Title Scholar, and put Battle Skull into play. Which is not a good position for Dominik to be in, unless he has Kolaghan's Command.
So, Rafaelo, going for the Stoneforge, take the Better Skull. A Force of Negation would be nice at this point, actually. But he boarded out both of them.
And there's a Kolaghan's Command for Dominik. So, okay, and he's a mountain, so no Title or Scholar. Is he gonna go Fatal Push?
Fatal Push seems like a good choice at the moment.
Yeah, he's going for the Fatal Push. Yep.
So Stoneforge is gone. No force.
So, but even then, I mean, his Squire got killed by Fatal Push, but he's up a card because he got the Better Skull. So
Rafaelo is
Dominik wants
sitting
a
with
land here.
2 mana lands. Mana leaks, mana land. Mana land would be nice.
Okay, Dominik drew a fetch land, which means he can now go for Title Scholar. Rafaelo can counter it. And then Dominik has the option to bring it back next round with Unearth. He also, of course, has Kolaghan's Command in hand to return it to his hand.
Unearth, such a great addition to the modern format.
Yeah.
Brought out a lot of decks, and especially the shadow decks.
especially
the Esper shadow deck.
This is a very interesting game because at the moment there's no clear favorite. We have a lot of interaction for both players. Can I see the deck lists somewhere?
Not
Currently
yet.
not. We will of course upload the deck lists on our homepage at a later point, and you can check them out, as well as coverage and standings pairings for all the rounds of this tournament. So if you want to see final standings, just check out our homepage, spielraum.co.at. Dominik thinking about his play.
That's a nice try in the chat with
with the commands, but we don't have that. So
there's a Title Skull.
Title Skull on the stack.
I think that's the right way to mana leak that, of course. And going back to Rafaelo.
Rafaelo needs a threat, but so does Dominik. Both play. I mean, he has Death Shadow in hand. Okay. Is there another Stoneforge Mystic? Yeah. There it is.
More Stoneforge Mystic. Grabbing the Sword of Feast and Famine, which is really good in this matchup. And Sword of Feast and Famine is my favorite sword in Legacy actually at the moment, because of the Ren and 6 stuff running wild. And in the blue-white builds, the untap your lands is such a great ability.
Yeah, you can tap out for stuff, and
you tap out for a threat, you tap out for Planeswalker attack, untap your lands, your opponent discards, you have counter backup. There's a Restoration Angel on hand, very nice, very nice. One Restoration Angel in the deck list of Rafaelo Sarmiento. And Flying Threat is always good. Costing 4 mana is not bad either, because the removal of choice is Fatal Push, so you have to trigger it.
Yeah, although he now has a fetch land for Revolt. We'll see. A lot of possible lines here for both players. And I think Dominik is leading with Unearth. Yeah, he wants to get better information of what's going on in Rafaelo's hands. He gets a look at both the equipments. There's the path. Okay, yeah.
Snapcaster Mage, Restoration Angel. Rafaelo sitting on 3 lands, which is a problem with a Restoration Angel and a Snapcaster on the hand.
I think you have to take the path, right? Because otherwise, yeah, he gets right back what he wants. And by not taking the path, you basically activate Snapcaster Mage plus path.
But he has 3 mana. It could be take the path, play call against command, because you know there's no threat for you not playing it. He has to discard.
Yeah.
Maybe and you shoot
Yeah, you hit the spell.
Shoot the Stoneforge Mystic.
Yeah, and he's stuck with 2 equipments. Deck lists are not up yet, unfortunately, but you will be able to take a look at them at a later point on our
Homepage.
website. Yeah. Yeah. We cannot upload them actually because top 8 deck lists are not publicly available for the players, so that no one has an unfair advantage. We will upload them after the tournament. I hope you guys understand that for tournament integrity. Top 8 deck lists will go live after the tournament. Dominik fetching for 3, going down to 9.
And for the black, I think the play is to play the call against command, shoot the Stoneforge Mystic.
Maybe he's going for the Death Shadow and wants Rafaelo to put Batterskull into play so that he can destroy it.
Of course.
With the call against command. Big draw step for Rafaelo here. And I think it was a blue card. Opt, Serum Vision, something like that. It was opt.
Should be opt because there are no Serum Visions in his deck list.
Well, then it better be an opt, and it was an opt. Puts the card on the bottom. We don't get to see the other card. And passes the turn. Call against command in hand to destroy the Batterskull.
And the Stoneforge Mystic. But has he another mana leak in hand? No. There is no mana leak.
Yeah, and he has to tap out to put the Batterskull into play anyway.
All cards Rafaelo has in hand.
Yeah, there's one unknown card because of the opt.
If that's the mana leak, that's a problem.
Oh, because he has to tap out to put the Batterskull into play anyways. So Dominik can just pressure Rafaelo with his creatures. He can just attack now, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, goes to cash in the land first.
Yeah.
Wants the extra information. What's the next card? It was another opt. Rafaelo found opt into opt. Draws a card.
And actually, he can go with both cards in the red zone.
Yeah,
forcing damage.
And that's his play.
Forcing damage. There's the Batterskull. And there's
Here it is.
a call against command.
Yeah.
Hello. You don't
Doesn't
have to
matter. Yeah,
take
you can
your germ token. It's
maybe
gone.
it's thinking about if it makes a difference or not, but it actually doesn't. So takes a look at his hand. Do you want to get rid of the Stoneforge Mystic here so he can't put the other equipment into play?
He knows that there's the sword. If you don't kill it now, there's the sword. If he gets the land, he can equip it. So you're out his path to exile.
Yeah.
So everything is gone.
Yep. And goes down to 11. So another big draw step for Rafaelo.
The shuffling is making me crazy. I cannot see anything. So,
but he now has Snapcaster Mage Celestial Purge online, which is huge. He can now play Snapcaster Mage, block Death Shadow, remove Title Skull with Celestial Purge, and have his he gets his.
The thing is, you don't even have to block the. Oh, that's.
Ooh. So you now have to play Snapcaster Mage, target the Celestial Purge. It gets flashback until end of turn, so you don't have to play it right away. Yeah. Let's the Inquisition resolve. There's either an opt or an equipment to take. So what do you take?
The equipment, of course. I think that sort of Feast and Famine in the Death Shadow games is so important, as we said earlier.
Yeah, the protection from black is really huge. And as we know, Dominik bought it out his what's it called? Team of Battle Rages. So the protection We'll just keep the Death Shadow in check.
So of course you attack with the Death Shadow because it's gone at the end of turn. So there's no different.
Well, the Death Shadow is not gone because he has to. I think he will Celestial Purge the
Yeah.
Tidal Scholar. Okay, he actually purges
because he can block the Tidal Scholar dead.
and he actually has Restoration Angel in
Yeah.
hand.
So finding another land.
So pretty huge turn for Rafaelo, getting rid of
Going
Death Shadow
in for
and going
two.
aggressive. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. He has the Restoration Angel in his hand, so he can ambush the. Oh.
And all of a sudden going very aggressive. Dominik down to 7 life, and he puts 6 power into play.
Yeah.
Already representing lethal on the board. Tidal Scholar has to block.
Yeah, and you can Restoration Angel the Geist of Saint Draft.
Yeah, whatever creature gets blocked will just be saved by Restoration Angel.
That was one of my favorite moves in the Innistrad Standard. Attacking with Geist of Saint Draft and playing Restoration Angel.
Yep.
Dominik's
He's
thinking
counting
about-
up. That's 8 total damage on the board right there.
The thing is, even the Angel alone with the Lightning Bolt is enough.
So Thoughtseize. What's the play? Death
Another
Shadow.
Yeah, one opt. Yeah, if he finds another land.
A removal spell would already be enough here. He can take care of the Tidal Scholar. Oh, and he found a bolt. This should be enough. He bolted the Tidal Scholar, path the Death Shadow.
He can just attack and bolt Dominik. to death.
That's also that's also possible. Yeah, down to 3.
And for the next turn, he has Restoration Angel, Bound Snapcaster.
Okay, he actually goes to save.
The Geist for the next turn.
Yeah.
If there should be a next turn.
So, any responses? Maybe Dominik has a removal spell for the Angel token, or not. 3 damage. Dominik down to 3, and there's a Lightning Bolt.
So it's 1-1.
1-1.
And the whole Innistrad block won the game, actually, with Snapcaster Mage, Geist of Saint Draft, and Restoration Angel, which is pretty nice. And I don't want to say, but I say it every time. Which is the best block in the Magic history? It's Innistrad.
Thanks for pointing it out.
Yeah, Geist being a massive card. This weekend, that's not true. Geist being a massive card in the history of Magic the Gathering. Both games, pretty cool games.
Yeah,
Both
a lot of
games
interaction.
Interactive. That's the Magic I like to see. Actually, that's Magic I love, and that's it. It reminds me a little bit more of Legacy with the addition of Modern Horizons.
Geist of Saint Draft was pretty weak in the 90s.
So,
is there a link to top 8? No. I mean, what do you mean link to top 8? You want to get into the top 8? No, there's no link to the top 8 deck list right now, because people, of course, are still playing. We are live, and deck lists are not publicly available during the top 8, so we're not uploading deck lists right now, so no player can gain an advantage there.
I've seen Johnny Crowett, actually. Any of my compatriots playing? Yeah, there were several. I think 3 or 4. I played against a guy. I'm very sorry, I can't remember his name. Maybe if I see the standings, I can remember him.
Can take a look, but they're not. It's not everyone on there. So, players reconsidering their sideboard choices. Dominik is taking a long, hard look at that Liliana again.
No, I do not found my opponent from Croatia, but we talked a little bit. He was on 5-color humans.
Okay, Dominik taking out, I think it was an additional Street Wraith, while putting in the Liliana of the Last Hope. He's, of course, now on the play. Yeah, puts in the Planeswalker. Seems like he wants a bit more threat density. Street Wraith, while nice, you can cycle it. Not as good as at pressuring the opponent as your 3-mana Planeswalker, of course.
So we're in the final match of the first quarterfinal.
Yep, final game. Current score 1-1. Dominik Aspernig won game 1. Rafaelo Sarmiento brought it right back.
Mythic coverage. Mythic championship qualifier. Vienna.
Please play shuffle. We've seen so many hours of shuffling already.
Welcome to Modern.
Welcome to Magic, with paperback, but to me it's still a better game. I enjoy playing Arena myself, but it's just not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same. It's the interaction. It's the meeting people you've not seen in a long time. For me, actually, I play those big tournaments. I play very few big tournaments, and it's really cool to see your old friends. It's really cool to find new friends, play Magic, have the interaction and the whole feeling. It's actually always the feeling.
Yeah, even if you
of the event.
Yeah, even if you like don't go do particularly well, just as you pointed out, meeting friends, having a good time. That's what it's all about. Those two guys having a very stressful time, probably, both on the brink of elimination.
Yeah, there's so much shuffling. It's stressful for them.
There are 2 more rounds to win before qualifying for the Mythic Championship, of course. But for these two guys, this one game of Magic is where it's at.
So we see Geist of Saint Draft in the hand of Rafaelo Sarmiento. There was a Stoneforge Mystic, and his shuffling is really fast, and he holds his cards to his body. Now we see Small Teferi, Geist of Saint Draft, Stoneforge Mystic. I think there's a Beta Skull.
There's a Beta Skull, Stoneforge Mystic.
Double Stoneforge Mystic. I think he's shipping the cards.
Yeah, not enough lands. Hi to everyone in the chat. Thanks for joining us and our coverage here at Spielraum in Vienna. We are now at our local store. We moved all our equipment up from the Haus der Begegnung, where people are playing 7 rounds of Swiss, and we're here now in the quarterfinals with Rafaelo Sarmiento on Jeskai Blade. 1 game to Aspernig Dominik, 1 game, and Rafaelo Sarmiento on a mulligan.
Dominik kept his hand.
So
this hand
there's another equipment in hands.
Okay. Then the nice thing with the new mulligan is if you're on Stoneblade, you can always shuffle your
Back
equipment
the equipment, yeah.
So Mishra's Bubble for Dominik.
Here you go. I really love... okay, he's looking actually at Rafaelo's deck. Because one of the plays I really love about the Death Shadow decks is when you have like a Shockland and a Fetchland in your starting hand, and you go like, I check my library, whether I want to fetch or play the Shockland first. This is a really nice interaction. Dominik, of course, going for the Fetchland here. Checks his hand again.
Yeah, it's been a long day for both of them. So checking it twice or even 3 times is better than not checking it and fetching for the wrong land. And just because of the Mardu Death Shadow, which is on not that many lands, and if there is a wrong fetch, it can be a real problem.
Yeah, you don't want to lose a game because you fetch for the wrong land turn 1. So, Thoughtseize reveals Rafaelo's hand. He has the one-off Angel again, 1 Stronghold Mana Leak, and of course the now freed Stoneforge Mystic.
Very nice. Very nice. I like it.
Yeah, we've seen quite a few Stoneforge Mystics this tournament. I think it's a nice addition to the format. It is a powerful card. We've seen it quite a few times, but it's not like it's a free win all the time.
And there are so many answers to Stoneforge Mystic in the Modern format. And Modern is really, really quick. So you put your Stoneforge Mystic down, and the next turn you could be dead.
Yeah. So Dominik taking a long, hard thought about this.
Yeah,
And
should
he
be
is
the
actually
Stoneforge Mystic.
he is actually taking the card. It's no, this is no title skull. You can actually put it in the graveyard, Dominik. You don't have to remove
But there
it.
is the title Scala.
Yeah, he has one title skull in hand, right?
That's a cool. Yeah.
Yep. You also. I mean, it is a 50 euro card, so maybe if you don't qualify for the tour, it's nice. You get to take something away from the tournament.
There's the Ranger Captain.
Yep.
Another edition from Modern Horizons.
He drew the card off of the Mishra's bubble that he used earlier.
And now
he used the Seas of Flawed Seas, yeah. Discard in the graveyard for Anarth is also nice in the action, yeah.
fetch again, and I think that's the title Scala coming down and ripping apart the hand of Rafaelo as we've seen it in the first game.
Yeah, Rafaelo drew Vendilion Click. So a 2-mana spell, a 3-mana spell, and a 4-mana spell. And as we've seen so often, not only in this match, not only today, but so many times, being on the play or being on the draw is a game changer. So
taking the Mana League as accepted.
Yeah, he has Ranger Captain of Eos in his hand, of course. Wants to resolve that next turn. Rafaelo with no play for turn 2 currently. So we'll see. It's gonna be a Hallowed Fountain. Probably. I mean, maybe fetching here was... I don't know. You don't want to take the damage. On the other hand, if you draw like a Lightning Bolt now, that would be horrible. But of course he has more white cards in his deck. Does turn on both Celestial Purge and Path to Exile.
So we have the first results. Yiji Obras is winning against Martin Kraus with 2-0, and Dominik Kupal.
The Junt mirror. Okay, so Junt beats Junt.
And Dominik Kupal
on 4-color Urza Blade
beats Michael Pointner with 2-0.
And Michael was on blue-white Stoneblade. So we have Junt against Urza Blade in our semifinals. And Dominik in this quarterfinals taking a damage.
1 damage from the silent clearing. Get the Ranger Captain. The Ranger Captain searches for a Death Shadow.
No surprise here.
And Rafaelo is actually pretty behind in this game. It's really it was ripping the heart out of the Stoneforge deck, ripping the hand apart.
So Rafaelo draws. What was his draw?
We know Rafaelo has a Field of Ruin, a Vendilion Click, and a Restoration Angel.
Yep. And but all these cards are coming in pretty late. He's been on the draw this game. Okay, yeah. Plays
the Field of Ruin.
And passes the turn back. Dominik untaps. Was it Celestial Purge? What's going on? Okay. I think that's silent clearing.
Looks like another silent clearing. There's the Vendilion Click.
After draw step, Vendilion Click, targeting Dominik. And we get to take a look at his hand. He has another Ranger Captain of Eos. Wow. Death Shadow, Inquisition of Kozilek, Fatal Push, and of course, the 4th land silent clearing, which was just drawn. This is huge.
Yeah,
I mean, wow. He's
far.
Very far behind. Even if he gets rid of the Death Shadow now, no, this is, wow, tough spot to be in. The Ranger Captain is like 2 creatures, so it's probably the best card. Really takes Inquisition. Very interesting. He wants to protect his Celestial Purge at this point. And an Unearth for Dominik.
The thing is that
wow,
Dominik can easily trigger the Fatal Push with the silent clearing. And he could go in for 5.
I think he can even like attack with a Ranger Captain. Rafaelo might block, and Dominik can just go unearth, double Death Shadow, go.
Rafaelo plays no Supreme Verdict in his 75 cards.
Yeah, he has no mass removal whatsoever. Okay, actually going in with both makes sense. The Mana League is not going to be relevant in this game anymore.
No, Mana League is...
It's not a card that Rafaelo can keep up.
Block the Ranger.
Yeah, this is exactly what Dominik wants. Rafaelo going down to 15.
Now he cannot blink his Vendilion Click. And he can put down the Death Shadow.
Okay, yeah.
And another Ranger Captain searching for another Death Shadow.
He
plays
can
the
actually unearth,
Yeah.
get Death Shadow,
That's
play 2 Death Shadows. What is the top 8 decks? We have Mardu Death Shadow on stream right now. We have Jeskai Stoneblade getting beaten up by Mardu Death Shadow on stream right now. We have 2 Junts, although 1 Junt was already eliminated in the mirror. We have 1 blue-white Stoneblade deck that was also eliminated by 4-color Urza Sword. And we have Hardened Scales against Mono Red. Those are our 8 decks in the top 8. And it seems like Dominik, how many Death Shadows is he going to put down? Is he worried at this point that Rafaelo might have Supreme Verdict? Oh, yeah, no, he's not. Okay, he's just going all
he's
in.
going all in.
I mean, if he is worried, he could just like
play 1 Shadow.
Sacrifice the
He
Ranger
can
Captain.
Sacrifice the Ranger Captain, yeah.
Okay.
He knows about the Restoration Angel.
Yeah. Which at this point is not even castable for Rafaelo. So, yeah, passes turn. Draws. There's a land. But I think the 4th land's not going to cut it. A 3-4 is nice. Yep, he knows about 1 Ranger Captain of Eos. He has Celestial Purge, which gets rid of 1 Death Shadow.
But there are 2 Death Shadows, which is a big, big problem.
So
that's a Field of Ruin, a Glacial Fortress, Restoration Angel, and Celestial Purge in his hand. So he has not really any good plays.
Yeah.
Besides,
I mean, he's still on 15 life, but they will drop very fast. Okay. Ranger Captain Title Scholar. Maybe Dominik is going for the Title Scholar pre-combat to see if the coast is clear. Death Shadows being 4-4. Perfect size at the moment to attack into a Restoration Angel. That's only 3-4. At this point, it's Dominik's game to lose. He's so far ahead.
yeah, Mardu Shadow is a really good deck.
Resto Angel, the Ranger Captain need to concede. Yeah. And I want to say here we go, but apparently we don't. Okay, sends them all in. Yeah. As we said, the Title Scholar, the Mana League underneath the Title Scholar is not going to be relevant anymore this game.
So there's the Celestial Purge.
Yeah.
Get rid of 1 Death Shadow, but there's another Death Shadow, and there's a Ranger Captain.
Okay, yep. That resolves 4, 7, 9 damage, putting Rafael down to 6.
There's no title. He could play the Title Scholar, takes 1 card, then sacks the Ranger Captain if he's thinking about his opponent has a mass removal.
Yeah, or he can just go Ranger Captain again, grab another Death Shadow, pass the turn, upkeep, sack Ranger Captain.
And the game is over.
And win the game from there. I mean, he can also just go Title Scholar, which I think is what he's doing right now. Yep, there's the Title Scholar.
Yeah.
Yep, there's a land and a Restoration Angel. I think he's gonna pass the turn, sacrifice the Ranger Captain during upkeep.
Go to 4.
If he's afraid of.
But there is no out for Rafaelo in his deck list. He can Cryptic once, but that's it.
Okay, here we go.
So it's
Untap, draw, and extend the hand, right? Yep. Their upkeep, sacrifice, ranger captain of Eos.
two
There's
lands.
the handshake. Aspernig Dominik wins against Jeskai Blade with his Mardu Death Shadow decks, and is now 2-0, 2-1, and playing in our semifinals.
Yeah.
We're back in the booth.
Do we have another game? They're done. So
What an interesting match.
Really cool match. A lot of interaction. Both cool decks. Modern format. There's a lot of work in the modern format. There's a lot of stuff going on, which is really cool. After the staleness we had in the.
What you didn't enjoy turn 2, Hogarth? What's wrong with you?
No.
Yeah. Pretty awesome matchup. Will be interesting to see. We now know that 4-color Urza is in our semifinals. We know that one Junt deck is in the semifinals. Those two decks will be paired against each other, and Mardu Death Shadows will face the winner of either Mono Red or Hardened Scales. We're still waiting for the result on that one, and we'll be bringing you the coverage of the semifinals as soon as possible. Yeah.
So it's my time to say goodbye, I think. I think the Lord of the Cards will take his place again. If not, it would be nice for me. It was a lot of fun. I told it after the last round. So I say goodbye. I think the Lord of the Cards takes over.
Yeah, we'll be taking a very short break, I think. And
thank you for watching.
Yeah, we'll be back with the semifinals. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. And we'll be right back.